Ladies, I'm kind of bummed out. I was supposed to talk to you today about, stress, maybe get into some anxiety, and kind of share some stories I have about that in my life. But I got an email very early this morning from this man, and we actually need to take just a very quick standardized test. Just our group, unfortunately the other groups are not doing it. This is, people have the paper sheet and start to maybe pass those out. Yeah. I'm sorry, like I said, it's like the last minute thing. It's just right down your ring. What's on your ring? Right here. I don't have that though. Very basic, like, I do not have that, like, I cannot turn it. No. I don't need another test. How about physical, like, sensations that your body was going through? Like, I was nervous just telling you because I was pretty sure I was going to get bum rushed. Like, you were just going to all jump up and be like, ah! I'm glad you reacted politely. What were you feeling in your body? You started sweating, yeah. And you're probably still sweating, but it takes a little while for them to stop. Yeah. Did anybody's tummy hurt? Did you feel like, oh god? Right? How about your head? Thoughts? What? You immediately got the headache over here. Okay. So why do you think I did that? Yeah, I wanted to give us the common ground to start of how we feel when we are stressing. We all are stressing out. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're not just going to talk about stress. We're going to talk about when stress becomes unmanageable and maybe some helpful things that you can do to relieve that stress. Things that I have done in the past and still do. Okay? So, are there names for the stress that you feel like, other than saying I'm so stressed out, are there other names for that feeling that you know? Woo! It's 100% you get on. Anxiety. So, anxiety is the buzzword of the day, right? We all have it. We all feel it. We all are stressed. All of your teachers, your administrators, we all have things we have to accomplish, we all have things we have to do. We all get that feeling of being stressed out, just like you had when I thought you were taking an exam. It's so funny to me. It's so funny. So, I don't know, but it seems like this is the buzzword, right? Stress. Buzzword. Not working. Here we go. Okay. Right? Stress is a buzzword. All of these people telling us all the time that we're stressed, like Dr. Oz. Do you like Dr. Oz? No, too young. When he gives this test to his, audience participants, I check all of those, but yes, I get angry in cars sometimes. Do I ever end up in heated arguments? Okay. Do I get angry shopping? Yes, all day, every day. Do I ever feel there is never sufficient time in the day to get things done? Raise your hand if you say yes to that one. Woo, all of us. Okay. So it's everywhere. You hear it from your parents, you hear it from us, you hear it from teachers, guidance counselors, everybody. It's on us, all the time, stress, blah, blah, blah. And then there's memes about stress that I love. They're funny. Like, hey Ryan, what's up? How are you? Hey girl, don't forget. Too stressed to be blessed. Really, Ryan? Really? Ryan? Too stressed to be blessed? Or too blessed to be stressed? Oh well. Does he look stressed out too? He looks pretty relaxed and comfortable. He's got a tight top on, he's got his glasses on. I'm pretty sure that his stressors as an Oscar-winning actor are a little bit different than ours, don't you think? Right? Okay. So, there's also baby stress. I did not know that babies got stressed. I have 3 babies, both your children. He's so stressed, he's a cold apple juice. Poor thing. You ever feel like that at the end of the day? Like, just like, I just want a juice box. And that would be better. Okay. Then we have the ideas on how to handle our stress. This is just one example of the thousands of memes that I look at on how to get more stress. So we have, let's see, nature. What does that mean? Sit in nature, draw, what does that mean? Exercise, sure, that's great, yeah, that works for about 20 seconds. And I don't have time to do that. Then we have time management. Well, that also makes me stressed. I don't know how to do that. Music, great, yeah, probably listening to it, writing music, should I be writing music, like Mozart, like should I don't know. Laughing. I'm so stressed. Is it easy to laugh when you're stressed? Not really. Not really laughing. Oh, that English paper is too smart, I did nothing. Okay? Get a hobby. Get a hobby? What hobby is a 36-year-old mother of 3 with a full-time career? What is my hobby? Changing diapers right now, that's a hobby. Okay? Playdates, a hobby. Meditation, not gonna happen. Too many things going on. I've tried, I'm just showing myself. I tried. I like it. Okay? And then notice, ladies, that this is not called stress eradication, stress destroyers, stress killers. It's called stress management, which implies that you can only manage the stress. You can manage it. You can work around it. You can get a hobby. Might stress you out. But you cannot destroy stress. You cannot eliminate it, can you? Oh, great, that's real helpful. That doesn't stress me out at all. Okay, so long story short, all of these things stress me out. Being stressed about de-stressing stresses me out. We know this, we've been told this. Okay? I do these things. I try. I do aromatherapy, I have a little machine in my room, it glows soft colors. My face on me, a little bit of face sometimes. I work out. Anybody maybe run into me over 226 after school doing something? Yes. Where it has. It's a little bit hard. This is where it has. It's a little bit odd. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. What's the verb? What are you doing? It's 4:30. And the dance party. Okay, so I like it. It makes me feel good. Okay? I go out with my friends. I try to talk to my friends. Talk to my husband. But trying to do all of that can stress me out, so you can relate. So we 100% agree with stress. It affects all of us. And yet we know from science and psychology that some amounts of stress are good for us. Do you know what stress can be good for? Like, what does it do that's good for you? It does motivate you, right? If you have a paper or a test and you're stressed out about it, you're more likely to do something about it instead. What about athletes? Do you get stressed before a competition or a game? Okay, so what does that stress do? I'm going to pick on you. Pick on you. When you have to run a really big race, what does your stress help you to do? Yeah, push yourself. So that to literally go the extra mile. So it pushes you to be better, to finish your task, because you want to get it over with, and you want to get that feeling of stress home. Okay, I do the same things. If I have a task coming up, for example, I have the grading, the end of the quarter, I have to get those graded. That's stressful, I have to make time for it, I have to finish it, I have to do it in the right way, do all the steps. But I want it over with because I know I'll feel good on something. Okay? So can stress become really bad? What do you think? Yes, it can become really bad. So if you have friends or your parents that maybe are telling you to relax all the time, does anybody have that feeling? Relax. Do you wish you could turn off your anxiety or stress? Like a light switch, like literally pop your head off and it would go on, right? You just go pop and you're done. Or you just there's a switch and you go like, right? Same thing. Do you ever feel sad, like for no reason? You're just like, sad. And not sad like you just watch a commercial and you're like, I think it's so emotional. eat 12 Oreos. Like, not that kind of snack, you know, not like Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone sad, not that kind of sad. But like sad, like, you feel really like down for some reason. Do you find you're constantly worrying about the future? Seniors might feel that right now, right? Constant stream of worry. How about worrying about things you can't control, like other people? Or things that are totally out of control, like weather. Right? If it snowed on the south side, maybe canceled or whatever, you can't control that, but you're worried about it. So anxiety is when we can't control the stress no matter what we do. No matter how much I Zoom in my classroom at the end of the day, I can Zoom for 6 hours, but if I still feel anxious at the end, if I still feel really stressed at the end of that, there's something going on there, and that is anxiety. Okay? And I actually have a quick video I want to show you. This is going to put it in perspective of stress versus the feelings of anxiety. Okay? Can you watch? It's only 1 minute long. It's very simple. And I have to do this way. Just have to get this off.
This is Stephanie. Stephanie is feeling nervous because she can't deadline tomorrow. Stephanie is stressed. Juliet is feeling nervous for an unknown reason. Juliet has anxiety. Stephanie goes over her annual budget. It's extremely stressful. Juliet finally has a moment to herself. She still feels anxious. Stephanie has a conversation with Juliet. She enjoys the conversation. Juliet has a conversation with Stephanie. She feels uncomfortable and will later overanalyze everything she said.
Juliet.
Stephanie decides to take a break and have lunch. She feels recharged. Juliet decides to take a break and have lunch. She still feels anxious. Stephanie sleeps after a long day at work. She's happy to finally put the day better. Juliet can't sleep. She goes over her schedule for tomorrow over and over again. Yes, stress can be difficult, but it's not the same as having an anxiety disorder. When someone opens up about their anxiety, don't respond with, "I've been stressed too." Listen.
Did that look familiar, everybody? Yeah, maybe not.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
I am Hank.
He looked a little stressed out, but whoa. Yeah. So the first thing that I want to tell you, if you do have recurrent stress, or you feel like you have anxiety, that you're actually not alone. That 18% of the American population suffers. It's 40 million people. So 40 million people are dealing with anxiety just the same way that you might be trying to deal with the stress and anxiety in your everyday life. Isn't it great? Yeah, it's a big common people. No, it's not great. It's not great. No, it's horrible. If you have anxiety, believe me, you're like, no, Burris, that's the worst thing ever. I would take that away from anybody. I'm dead serious. If I knew somebody was suffering with anxiety, I would try everything I could to make it happen. Okay? I have suffered severely since I was a teenager through my adult life with anxiety. That's right, Mrs. Burris has it all together most of the time. But I've been suffering since I was even a little kid, really. If you look back in my past, I would like stay up at night, or I would fall asleep and then I would sleepwalk or sleep talk, and I would talk about things that I was worried about. Look at me. Or talk about like math tests in my 7th grade. Math was recurring for me in 7th grade. I'm sorry. I would talk about that a lot. I would talk about like how much my Barbies and my shoes. You know, little things that little kids worry about. I would get really worried, so it would wake me up at night. And then I came here. So I graduated in 1998, so I started in 94. And that's really when my anxiety started to affect my everyday life. I really liked it here. I had a lot of friends, I made a lot of friends, I participated in sports. But I was worried all the time. I was worried constantly for no reason. I just felt worried. It interfered with my schoolwork a lot, actually, especially in my last 2 years of that one. It stopped me from doing things that I liked or seeing my friends. And with schoolwork, sometimes I would get it all done. Like, I would be like, yeah, I did this all done, I feel really good. And be this model student, you know, I got a 5 on the English test. I took A push. I got a 4 on A push, AP exam. So like, I was a pretty good student. I wasn't a dumb, you know, I was pretty good. But sometimes I was overwhelmed and I would just stop doing anything. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't ask for help. I wouldn't go to my teachers. I wouldn't complete my assignments. And I just would stay home sometimes. Like, it affected my absence. My absence record was affected, especially my senior year. Because I just couldn't, it's like I literally can't. That's I can't even. Back then, we didn't say I can't even, but that's what I was saying. I'd be like, Mom, I can't even. And she would know right away what was going on. Like I said, my mom was really incredible. She realized that some of what was going on with me was not typical. It was just not the typical stress of a teenager. Because like we saw in the video, there's a difference. I played sports. I had a boyfriend. I complained about schoolwork. I got detentions, like 7 or so. But I did. I had the stress and the worry that I was feeling was not typical. Wanting to save them, wanting to isolate myself from my friends, wanting not to literally do anything. That wasn't a problem. So that's the first step, right? It's telling somebody that you trust, your mom or an adult you trust. But maybe your mom or dad doesn't notice your level of stress lately because they're busy too. It's not because they don't love you or they don't want to help you. It's because they're busy and they think that it looks like normal teen stress. That's when you have to decide if it's too much and I really need to reach out to someone. So who do we reach out to here? There's one of them in the room with us. If you need to talk to somebody here, who do you talk to?
A guidance counselor.
Yes, you have fabulous team guidance counselors. They really are. In the different schools I've been in, they're one of those fabulous teams. They care genuinely about you as a person. Okay? And maybe that's it. Like maybe you go home, you talk to your mom and dad, you feel a lot better, you start working on some things that you can work on to help eliminate your stress, you take some things off your plate, and then you're done. Yay! Nobody did that. Woo! You did it. You feel better. Good. But sometimes talking to your mom or dad or a trusted adult or guidance counselor is not going to be enough. It wasn't for me. I needed to have somebody that was a sounding board, like a mutual third party for that term for it. Somebody who didn't know me really personally, but that would listen to me. So they would answer my questions or help me based on what I was telling them. Maybe your guidance counselor, they certainly can do that. It could be a counselor outside of school, somebody who specializes in stress and anxiety. And they're usually called therapists. Does that really make you nervous? A little bit? Why? It used to be seen that going to therapy was something that meant something was wrong with you. That you had something wrong with you, that you couldn't figure it out on your own, that you were weak. Okay? It turns out a lot of people go to therapists. They let a lot get advice on their life. And do you know that therapists and counselors have to actually go to their own therapists and counselors? So it's kind of like this little cycle, like the circle of life. But they're a perfect definition of the third person neutral. They don't know you, but they can help you. Okay? Most of my friends actually are seeing now or have seen a therapist. Okay? Therapists have had a tremendous positive impact on my life, personally. I talk to a person who's got the same age as me, she has kids, she gets it. I let everything out that I'm worried about, and if she has suggestions, she gives them, but sometimes she just listens. And it makes me feel much more prepared to handle my stress at the end of the day. I look at my therapy sessions, and yeah, I go to therapy, not every day. I agree, every day. I'm going to be completely stress-free. But I go like every 2 weeks. So I look at those sessions as another form of preventative health care, right? I brush my teeth, I work out, I eat good, I eat well. Sometimes, most of the time. Sometimes good, okay? Because my mental health is just as important as my physical and my spiritual health. I believe that all three of those go together. Think of it this way. How many of you are wearing a boot right now? Anybody here wearing a boot? No, they must all be in the others. But if you broke your ankle, if you're a soccer player and you broke your ankle, that sucks, right? You broke your ankle, you can't play. You wear the boot as a support. It doesn't change your ability to play the sport. It's just supporting your effort to get back to playing your sport just how you want. So it supports you, and that is what I do when I go and I talk about my stress. So why don't we hear more about it? Why don't we hear like everybody being like, wow, like last night in therapy, I was totally coming out for a problem. Well, you're supposed to keep it a secret, first of all. But there's also a stigma that if you need to talk to somebody or you need to seek help, for example, then you're weak. That something's wrong with you. You couldn't figure all that out on your own. Oh, well, you must be weak. You're not strong enough. Well, I'm here to tell you that is not true. Not true. Not one bit. Not one bit. My struggles with anxiety did not solve themselves once I talked to a therapist. I had to work on it. And isn't that the definition of being strong? Right? You get up when you fall down, just like you do on the soccer field or in your classes. If you fail, you try again. You go to your teacher, you go to your coach, you wear the little boots that you have to wear if you need to. You get up and you try again. Okay? Trying over and over, it took me a long time to realize that once I let go of the idea that I should handle everything by myself that I have going on, and then I could ask for help and people would get it and understand it, my life is so much happier. It's not perfect, okay? We didn't eradicate the stress, like I said earlier. We didn't destroy it, it's still there. But I can manage it so that it does not turn into anxiety. It does not cause me a problem, and I can enjoy my life. Okay, now, first thing first, I don't want you to call your mom or dad tonight or text them as soon as school's over and be like, this first, I don't need a therapist. It's not the suggestion I'm making, okay? But I want you to take away most of what I talked about today is that women, especially, we're all in this together. We should be compassionate towards each other because we do not know what someone else is dealing with or if their stressors have turned to anxiety. So for example, someone's attitude towards you or someone's snarky comment might actually mean that their stress and anxiety has gotten better. And we should actually kind of feel bad and pray maybe that they find a solution. That stress is normal, okay? Stress is a normal everyday part of life. And anxiety is different. It needs to be dealt with if it interferes. Okay? So I wanted to leave room for a couple of questions. But I also wanted to share something that's been very important to me in my life for a long time, which is a prayer by St. Francis of Sales. You know who he is, right? He's our one of our patrons. And Francis was so good at understanding everyday stress. He was really, really good at zeroing in on things that would be bothering people. And he actually worked as sort of a therapist for a lot of people. He was a spiritual director for a lot of different people. And he helped them. He listened to their troubles, he gave them advice, but he was very human about it. He really, really tried hard to come down to their level. So can I share it with you? Maybe you've heard it, maybe you've said it. Can you see it? Okay, I'm going to read it to you real quick. Do not look forward to what may happen tomorrow. The same everlasting Father who cares for you today will take care of you tomorrow and every day. Either he will shield you from suffering or he will give you unfailing strength to bear. Be at peace then, and put aside all anxious thoughts and imaginations. So I like to read that. At the end of the day, before I go to bed or when I wake up, sometimes I read it in class. It helps me to remember, this too shall pass. There are things I can do to help myself, and let's get through the day. The end. Does anybody have a question or concern or comment? Don't be afraid. I'm going to make you read my phone. Good. I think that's our explanation. Nothing? I mean, tell me you can ask me anything more about my life. Not anything, but something. No? Yay!
Did preparing for this stress you out at all?
Indeed. Yes, because I have to look at all of your beautiful little faces looking at me. I have to be vulnerable and tell you that I have a weakness too. I have anxiety that I have to work on. So yes, I felt like I was going to throw up before I started. Really. Somebody offered, Mrs. Brown offered me a dinner, and I was like, ooh. Stressed me out. What stresses you out?
Oh God.
Oh,
A lot.
a lot. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
When did you first start taking therapy?
I was probably 19. I was in college. And college was stressful because it was a change from high school. It's normal to be stressed out in college, but I was really, really hard on myself about grades. And I was staying up way, way too late. And so it just was a perfect storm for stress. And I started to see areas that I really liked and I really got along with, and I just didn't switch from because she's not practicing anymore. But yeah, I was about 19. Oh, my favorite way to relieve stress. I really like to get outside. Like I go for a hike or a walk or it doesn't have to be a hike. But I like to get outside in nature. I make fun of the nature, but really I do like nature. Like Randall Park. Like to walk on the beach if I can in the summer. If I'm on the beach. That's definitely my favorite stress relief. Any kind of exercise. Seriously, not about 226 on that. Every day, about 3:30, if you're around. Right? Girls don't have my test. What comes up on the board when we open up the YouTube? Anybody remember? No? What comes on the board? Oh Lord, guys. Yeah? Yeah, how am I doing 10 minutes? Stress me out, girls. It's not happening. You did the 10-minute workout, my soul. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anything else? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, I just walked in, so I know that this has been very courageous for Mrs. Burris to talk to you, and I just think the world of her for doing this, for loving you so much that she's opening herself up to vulnerability, to be with you in a very honest way. I would just say when I get I just texted Father Beretta. Father Chris just emailed me, just texted me, "Are you okay today?" And I emailed him back. Let me get because I can't remember. I emailed him back or texted him. Depends on your definition of okay. Good thing is I have a wonderful friend named Chris. And I would say to you, you find your wonderful friend that's going to bring you up and not listen to you, your anxieties and go down.
And not do what they did in the video. Remember, they said when someone comes to you with their anxiety and they say, "I'm really worried a lot of the time," don't say, "Oh, I'm so stressed too."
Exactly.
And that's the other thing to de-stress is my girlfriend. I have 3 friends, 2 of them that I met when I was here. And we can say anything to each other, and we don't try to belittle each other. We just listen. Most of it is listen. And if you say something that you haven't been there, they're always there for me to just say well, whatever I can do, that sucks. And sometimes that's all it takes. And then I'm like, well, I feel better. Thanks. That's all it takes. You have to have that person that's not going to try and bring you down to even more. Anybody else? Yes.
When you were first dealing with stress, how open with your friends were you?
Not at all. Not at all.
When did you start to open up?
Probably after college, when I had a couple of really serious bouts of anxiety. I had to tell people because, like I said, I would pull myself out of their lives. And they didn't know what was going on. And me and my friends, they were worried about me. And so I had to be really honest with them. Look, I'm treating myself with this. I'm getting help for this, but I need some time.
In retrospect, would you have opened up to them
I
again?
think I would have. And you have to figure out if college students have 3 weeks of it. And not yet, girls, not yet. That was like 18 years ago, almost 20 years ago. So that's even further back. So even then, it's not that far away, but we didn't talk about that kind of stuff. I don't think it was as prevalent as it is now. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because I want them to understand you can talk about it, it's okay, it doesn't mean that there's lots of people doing it. So.
So you're just saying that you feel like we talk about it more now.
Yeah.
Do you think, I think going back to maybe your point of like stress versus anxiety, like do you feel like we say we're stressed more, like
Yeah.
adults, teenagers, is like, are we actually, or is it?
Right, and I think we all have stressors in our life, but I think that line gets crossed between I'm stressed out, which is a normal everyday thing. It sucks. It's not like we want to be stressed. But that line is sometimes crossed. So what is the difference between stress and actual anxiety, where you cannot control what you feel, how worried you are. You know, there's literally nothing going on in your life to stress you out, but you still feel that nervous, like sad, but nervous feeling at the same time. So I think maybe we need to do a better job of saying, yes, you're stressed out, you feel like going on in your life, but that's okay. Let's come up with some ideas to help you. Has it gone this far though? That's what I believe. I'm a little so little names are very pleasant. Anything else? Go once. Yes. Okay. Good job, girls. Thank you for listening so nicely. I really